When we think of the Middle Ages, images of brave knights, grand castles, and powerful kings often come to mind. Stories of chivalry, romance, and epic battles fill our imaginations. However, these captivating narratives often overshadow the lives of the majority of people who lived during this time, the peasants. These farmers, laborers, and villagers formed the backbone of medieval society, their hard work and resilience the foundation upon which the era was built. This essay delves into the world of medieval peasants, exploring their daily lives, struggles, and contributions. We will journey beyond the castle walls and into the heart of their villages, fields, and homes. By understanding their experiences, we gain a more complete and nuanced understanding of the medieval world, recognizing the often overlooked individuals who shaped its destiny. The lives of medieval peasants were far removed from the glamour and grandeur often associated with the Middle Ages. They faced challenges and hardships that are difficult for us to imagine today. Yet, their stories are filled with resilience, community, and a deep connection to the land. By understanding their experiences, we gain a greater appreciation for the complexities of history and the enduring spirit of those who lived it. Life for medieval peasants revolved around the land. The rising and setting of the sun dictated their days, their lives intricately intertwined with the rhythms of nature. From dawn till dusk, they toiled in the fields, their labor essential for the survival of their families and the entire feudal system. Their homes, often simple one-room structures made of wood and wattle, provided basic shelter from the elements. Inside, space was limited, and families often slept, ate, and lived within a single room. Furnishings were few, a simple table, a few stools, and perhaps a chest for their meager possessions. The majority of peasants worked the land as farmers, cultivating crops like wheat, barley, and oats. Using simple tools, such as wooden plows and hand sickles, they labored tirelessly to coax sustenance from the often unforgiving soil. Their days were filled with plowing, sowing, weeding, and harvesting, each task demanding physical endurance and unwavering dedication. In addition to farming, peasants also tended to livestock, sheep, goats, pigs, and chickens, providing essential food and resources. They collected firewood, fetched water from distant wells, and repaired their homes and tools, their lives a constant cycle of hard work and resourcefulness. Within the peasant class, there were distinctions in status and freedom. Most peasants were serfs, bound to the land owned by a lord. This meant they were obligated to work on the lord's fields for a certain number of days each week, paying rent in the form of crops or labor. Serfs were not free to leave the manor without the lord's permission, and they were subject to his laws and judgments. Freemen, on the other hand, while still owing allegiance to the lord, had greater autonomy. They rented land from the lord, paying him a fixed amount of their produce. They were free to move and marry without the lord's permission and had more control over their own labor. However, even freemen were subject to the lord's authority and had limited social mobility. Life for both serfs and freemen was challenging, their destinies intertwined with the land and the dictates of the feudal system. Yet, within this rigid structure, they carved out lives of resilience, community, and quiet dignity. Life for medieval peasants was a constant struggle against hardship. Disease, famine, and war cast long shadows over their existence, threatening their livelihoods and claiming the lives of loved ones. Without the advancements of modern medicine, disease was a constant threat. Outbreaks of deadly illnesses, such as the bubonic plague, could decimate entire villages, leaving behind unimaginable suffering and loss. Famine was another ever-present danger. Poor harvests caused by drought, floods, or pestilence could lead to widespread hunger and starvation. Peasants already living close to the edge of subsistence were particularly vulnerable to these food shortages. War, too, brought its own set of horrors. While battles raged between armies, peasants often found themselves caught in the crossfire. Their crops were trampled, their homes destroyed, and their lives disrupted. The constant threat of violence added another layer of uncertainty and fear to their already precarious existence. In the face of such hardships, religion provided solace and hope for medieval peasants. The Catholic Church was a central part of their lives, offering spiritual guidance, community support, and a sense of purpose in a world often marked by suffering. Peasants attended church regularly, their faith offering comfort and a promise of a better life in the hereafter. They celebrated religious holidays with fervor, finding joy and respite in the midst of their difficult lives. The church also provided essential social services, caring for the sick, the poor, and the orphaned. However, the church was not simply a source of comfort and support. It also played a significant role in perpetuating the feudal system. Peasants were required to pay tithes, a tenth of their produce, to the church, which could be a significant burden on their already limited resources. Section 6. Seeds of Rebellion, the Peasants' Revolt, and the Fight Against Oppression. While medieval peasants are often portrayed as passive and resigned to their lot in life, history tells a different story. Time and again, they rose up against oppression, demanding better treatment and challenging the established order. One of the most famous of these uprisings was the Peasants' Revolt of 1381 in England. Fueled by anger over oppressive taxes, social inequality, and the Black Death's devastating impact, the revolt saw thousands of peasants marching on London, demanding an end to serfdom and greater economic justice. While the rebellion was ultimately crushed, it sent shockwaves through English society, forcing the ruling class to confront the plight of the peasantry. The Peasants' Revolt was not an isolated incident. Throughout the Middle Ages, peasant uprisings erupted across Europe. These rebellions, often sparked by specific grievances, such as unfair taxes or oppressive landlords, were a testament to the resilience and spirit of the peasantry. Section 7. The Shifting Sands of Feudalism, New Opportunities and Challenges for Peasants. As the Middle Ages drew to a close, the feudal system that had defined life for centuries began to unravel. The Black Death, which ravaged Europe in the 14th century, led to a significant decline in the population, creating a shortage of labor. This gave peasants more bargaining power as lords competed for their services. The growth of towns and cities also offered new opportunities. As centers of trade and commerce expanded, they drew people from rural areas, seeking new livelihoods and greater freedom. Peasants could find work as artisans, laborers, or merchants, breaking free from the constraints of the land. However, these changes were not without their challenges. The decline of feudalism also led to greater economic instability. As traditional systems of obligation weakened, peasants faced greater competition for land and resources. The rise of a money-based economy while offering new opportunities also created new vulnerabilities. Section 8. Forgotten Backbone, the indelible mark of peasants on medieval society. The lives of medieval peasants may seem far removed from our own, yet their story is one that resonates across centuries. They were the backbone of medieval society, their labor the foundation upon which the era's economies, cultures, and power structures were built. Their resilience in the face of hardship, their strong sense of community, and their enduring faith shaped the social fabric of the Middle Ages. While they may not have left behind grand castles or epic poems, their legacy lives on in the very landscape they shaped. The fields they tilled, the villages they built, and the traditions they passed down are a testament to their enduring presence. Section 9. Conclusion. Echoes of Resilience, the enduring legacy of medieval peasants. As we look back on the Middle Ages, it is essential to remember the millions of peasants who lived and died in relative obscurity. Their stories, often untold and overlooked, offer a vital perspective on the period's complexities and challenges. By understanding their lives, we gain a richer, more nuanced understanding of history, one that acknowledges the contributions of all members of society, not just the elite. The resilience of medieval peasants in the face of hardship, their deep connection to the land, and their enduring faith continue to inspire us today. Their stories remind us of the importance of community, the value of hard work, and the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. As we navigate the challenges of our own time, let us remember the legacy of the medieval peasant, a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of the human spirit.